This is a pretty sad video, but I agree with this 100%. So let's check it out.
There's a talk I give on the 5 biggest challenges black people have for the next 100 years. The number one challenge is the existential crisis of the black family. The existential crisis of the black family. Marriage in our culture is down to 34%. When we were growing up, it was 85%. It's now down to 34%. 71% of our sisters are not married, 29% will never get married, 63% of our brothers are not married, 30% of them will never get married. There is no culture in the history of humankind that has risen to maximize their full human potential without family at the center of their culture. This only exists. This is an interesting but negative statistic. This phenomenon of the existential crisis of our family only exists among African American black people. It does not exist on the continent or anywhere else in the diaspora. So there must be something in the water. We must fix this. It is a lot easier said than done because it is impacting our wealth. Quick statistics. For 350 years, household median income was dominated by white people. They were number one in this country. They no longer are number one, they're number 3, and there's a reason for it. So, who has the highest household median wealth in America? It's East Indians, $104,000 a year. What's the marriage rate in the East Indian culture? 94%. 2 are working. Who's number 2? Chinese Asians. Household median income, $110,000 a year. Marriage rate close to 70%. Number 3 are white people. Household median income, $88,000 a year. What's the marriage rate? Almost 50%. Down significantly. Number 4 are Hispanics. Household median income, $61,000 a year. Marriage rate close to 70%. We are at the bottom. Household median income, $55,000 a year. Marriage rate, 34%. And projected based on facts and statistics that if we do not fix this, because white folks ain't fixing this, our marriage rate will be in the low teens in the next 20 years. This is an enormous challenge. That's a whole talk by itself on how do we fix it. It can be fixed, but we have to, first of all, understand that this is a problem. No one's talking about this problem. This is a huge problem. It's the number one problem in our culture. So we must fix it.
So, do you hear it? Do you heard it? Yeah, I agree with this gentleman 100%. Yeah, I mean, when we start talking about generational wealth and making it, and having money for your kids and having money for your children, right? That what he's saying makes perfect sense, right? You can't have generational wealth if you don't really have a family structure, right? That's 2 people working together to take care of their family, right? That's how it has to go. That's how it always been. That's how we always survived. That's how we survived through racism. That's how we survived through the Jim Crow era. That's how we survived through everything. We always survived as a family unit. Now we fast forward, everybody's at each other, men don't do this, women don't do that. And right now it's showing in our society, right? We don't have marriages like we used to have it. Everybody wants to be single. I go in these groups, I go in these chats. Always a bunch of men say, "Oh, I'll never get married," and then there's a bunch of women who are like, I don't want to get married either. And it's just like, that stuff has a great impact on your wealth and how much money you can build. And let me explain, right? So, and it's simple math, right? 2 incomes are better than 1. If both people are working in the household, right, you should have enough money to take care of the household if you're not overspending and if you're not going all crazy. And you should have enough money to save and put away and invest. That's how it typically works, So If you're not moving like that, then you always gonna have problems, because right now the society isn't designed for you to be out here on your own. Society is designed for two people to work together. That's just how it is. That's how it always been. That's how people always got ahead. And you see now people are struggling more than ever. We got inflation. Taxes are pretty bad right now. The cost of fuel, the cost of living, the cost of rent is terrible. And right now, everybody's trying to do it by themselves, especially in the Black community. And we can't do that, man. We got to get back together. We got to get back to family units. Stop doing all the baby mama, baby daddy stuff. Raise the kids together with both parents in the household, no matter what's going on, no matter how you got to do it, right? So, and I'm not saying you put up with a bunch of crap with somebody. I'm not saying you just get married just to get married, but you should be trying to plan out your situation a lot better, right? Just don't be having random kids with random dudes. Same thing with dudes. Just don't be knocking up random women. If you don't plan on marrying that girl, don't give her a baby. Use a condom. Like that's how we did it back in the day, because we had to face more than just babies. Back in the day, HIV was a real thing, right? People were dying of that. So when I was coming up, everybody wore condoms because you just didn't want to have sex and probably die. Like now, it seems like nobody cares about STDs. Nobody cares about any what they call STIs. What do they call them now? Nobody cares about that stuff. Everybody just go out, they have sex. They don't care who they knock up. They don't care what happens. They don't care about the consequences. And the consequences is that you're not going to have enough money. So here it is. If you're a guy, you go get a bunch of random women pregnant. You can't become wealthy because you got to take care of all these kids. You're going to be on child support. If you got 3 kids by 3 different women, that's 3 different child support payments. How you going to get wealthy doing that? If you got to pay for 3 different households, that means you're paying for 3 different families, right? It makes more sense to just pay for one family, right? You get one wife, you have your kids with your one wife, you pay for one family. But we don't do that now. We think it's cute. We think, we're going to glorify having a bunch of kids by a bunch of baby mamas. And that stuff don't work for most people. Now, you got wealthy people out here doing it because they got the money and the resources to take care of those women. They pay them out. They do whatever they do. You see NBA players doing it. You see NFL players doing it. I was just looking at Cam Newton. Cam Newton got a bunch of baby mamas and a bunch of kids he's paying for. But now he's struggling to pay for them a little bit now because he's not in the NFL no more. Now you got to do podcasts. That podcast money ain't like that NFL money. So you're going to struggle. So you're going to struggle a little bit. But these are the exceptional people. These are the 1%ers. These are the 5%ers. The average person, the average guy going out there working, putting his head down, working his craft, out there making his money every week, getting a check. It's best for you to go ahead, find a decent woman, that you think that, make a good wife and get married. Make sure y'all both want the same thing. Make sure y'all on the same page. Put a plan together. Work your plan. Now, granted, plans have hiccups. Stuff don't always go right, and that's just how it's going to be in any situation. I'm married. I can tell you firsthand that all your plans you have may not go right. You may have to adjust the plan. Things happen, right? But at the end of the day, if y'all got the same goals and y'all got the same ambition, right? Y'all get together, y'all do it, y'all knock it out, and then y'all keep moving forward, right? Is stuff going to get bad? Yes. Relationships get bad. Things happen, but at the same time, the most important thing you have to understand is this is your generational wealth, right? Your generational wealth is going to come from your family. And as long as you understand that, right, you should be able, not all the time, but we shouldn't be giving up so easily on our families and relationships once things get bad or things get tough or you hit a couple of rough patches in your relationships, right? And that's not an excuse saying, hey, women put up with anything. That's not saying men put up with anything. But I'm saying, though, people leave so quickly nowadays. It's just they don't even give things a chance. So that's just my thoughts about that. I'll put the original link to the video in the description. Thank you guys for rocking out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Like, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and you guys take care. All right, bye.